right, 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Friday morning. Hope you're doing well. Robin, here's a coincidence. Are you ready for this?
Okay.
All right, yesterday, you might remember, you and I were practicing our music, and I had a capo lying on the table.
Yes, you did.
For those who don't know what a capo is, it's a device that you clamp onto your guitar so that you can change the key instantly. You know, you move it up. Anybody who plays guitar probably is familiar with a capo. My capos happen to be made out of metal, and it looks like a pretty simple device.
Yeah.
And I said to you, as simple as this is, if I had to make one of these, I wouldn't even know where to begin. I would have no idea. How do you take a piece of metal and make it into something? And here's the coincidence. Mike Zeke is in the studio. He handed me his brochure. He's part of Zeke Technique Incorporated. He's the guy that makes things from metal into other things. Wow. Some pretty cool. So Jim George is not here, by the way. This is his show. I don't know what happened. Do you know? Anybody know? You know, Robin?
No.
Yes, he was going to be out of town.
He's going to be out of town.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I'm his replacement.
And that beautiful voice belongs to a beautiful lady. Her name is Claudiana Palucci. She's been here before, and the publisher of Innovation Ocala. And Laura Burns is in the studio. We've known Laura for a long time from the Star Banner. Communications manager and career. You're with...
Career Source, Citrus Levy Marion.
Career Source.
Yes,
so
sir.
you've moved around since I've last seen you, right?
Yeah, I've been with Career Source. It was Workforce Connection. We just
that's why. It just has a new name.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
And are you still writing, right?
A little bit.
A little bit here, a little bit there.
A little bit. And for Innovation Ocala, as a matter of fact.
Well, let me tell you,
nice.
just before we jump into whatever serious stuff we're going to talk about, today is Pi Day. Did you know that?
Pi?
PI, 314, whatever goes on, right? And so I wrote a haiku. Can I share my haiku? It's a haiku. It's a what do you call haiku? Haiku. Ready? Here's my it's 5 syllables, 7 syllables, and then 5 syllables. Right? That's how it goes. So here's my haiku. Have a piece of pie. Your mouth will be satisfied. There's the 7. More than in your eye. There's my haiku. There's my haiku. All right, so without being silly anymore, which is impossible, good morning, Laura Burns, Claudiana Palucci, and Mike Zeke. Good morning to all three of you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Wow, so where do we go from here? Jim usually talks about cable and television, and so let's see, there's one thing that connects you all. You're giving to the community.
Correct.
Right?
Sure.
Now, Mike, you've got that cool, I've always admired that sculpture out in front of the Parks and Recreation.
It's right in front of the Discovery Science Center.
Center.
Yep, that is correct.
Yeah.
There's actually a very large art walk scheduled for tomorrow in the park from 1 to 4.
Okay.
There's an opportunity for the community to vote on their favorite sculpture.
Oh, really?
So, yep, the more the merrier.
Now, how many sculptures do you actually have?
There are 10 there. I've only got one.
You've got one, and yours is the one at the Discovery Center?
Right in front of the Discovery Science Center, called Childhood Memories.
I've never messed with it. Does it move?
It does. All 3 blocks spin.
Oh, wow. And it spells fun sometimes, right?
But it spells fun art for all. Those are the 4 sides.
I didn't know that.
When you line the cubes up.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, nice.
And it's got a jack on top.
A jack, big aluminum jack. All of that is handcrafted. Yep, made right here locally.
So do you see how untalented I am? I was looking at my capo, just getting back to that, and I said, how does anybody even make something like this? I have no clue how you make something.
You have to have the vision, really, and it's very important to have the tools, whether it be your hands or your mind. I mean, it all.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's just not one of the things I was blessed with, and
Right.
obviously you are. So how far back does it go? I mean, did you make something out of metal when you were a little kid?
30 plus years. I always enjoyed tinkering, taking things apart, which inspired me, my curiosity, and here we are today.
So does it include welding?
It does include welding.
Yeah.
That is a big part of what I do. If you've ever seen the show on the History Channel, American Restoration, it's a guy out in Las Vegas that takes and restores old stuff, makes them better than new. That's kind of what I do here without a film crew following me every day.
You should have a film crew.
I should have, correct. Do you have any connections?
Well, yeah. As a matter of fact, we do have some connections.
Yes, we do.
Claudiana, good to see you again.
Very nice to see you.
And how are things going? You've got more than one magazine, right?
Yes, I got 4 total.
4 total magazines. Wow. So you're busy all the time.
Really busy, but that is good. 2014 just been an amazing year, like couple months of the year. It just this positive, either it's a really positive energy that is going on within the community, or the economy is really turning around. So Laura probably will cover a little bit of that.
We had a story this morning. 600,000 more millionaires in the United States in 2013 than there were in 2012.
I'm not one of them.
600,000 more. The more millionaires we have, you know what that means, the more expensive stuff gets. Because they don't care if the poor people can't buy it, they just want to sell it, right?
Or buy it.
Oh, hopefully, right? Hopefully we have something they can buy. But is maybe this is a question for everybody. Do you see it in Laura? Do you see it in the workforce? Do you see it improving?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Slow and steady wins the race. We're not seeing these, huge corporations come in and hiring 2,000 people at a pop. Wouldn't that be nice? Hint, hint, any employers within the sound of my voice. But, we're seeing the backbone of our economy is in the small to middle-sized businesses, and they are just steadily adding new staff, and that's wonderful. So we are seeing light at the end of the tunnel.
But you've been doing this long enough that you saw the beginning of the tunnel, didn't you?
Well, I came into it right when it was kind of at the worst possible point.
Right.
4 years ago, the unemployment rate here was 14.3%. In our region, we had nearly 30,000 people out of work.
Wow.
Today, it's 6.8%, and in Marion County, fewer than 10,000 out of work, and region-wide, it's about 13,000. So really making strides.
So I'm slowly starting to be able to narrow the commonality between the three of you. Claudiana, correct me if I'm wrong, you're an entrepreneur. This is your business, right?
Yes.
And Mike, you obviously are.
Correct.
This is your business. So did you either of you bail out of a corporate world or some other situation where you were working for an employer?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
What was your story?
I had always worked for somebody as a job. It wasn't really a passion.
Right.
And it just got to the point in my life where it was, okay, now is the time to bail on corporate America, if you will,
Right.
and do my own thing. And since I have, which has been 3 years ago, full-time, I have steadily grown. I'm 7 days a week just about now to keep up.
Really?
Ready to
What,
hire
do you have a
somebody.
shop in your house, or do you have a...
No, I've got an 8,000 square foot shop over
Wow.
in the industrial park.
And you hire people?
I'm getting ready to hire my first employee very soon.
Wow.
Come see us.
Will do.
So what was your first, is everything you do a sculpture?
No, that is kind of the hobby within the business, if
Okay.
you will. That's my way to kind of relax and just unwind a little bit. I find that our growth in the last couple of years is attributed to do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it, and treat people fair.
Good.
All of my work comes word of mouth, and it just has steadily grown.
So what are you mostly in business to do?
Unique fabrication. If you need something, one-off type thing
Really?
that a lot of the production shops don't want to mess with. The production shops want to do the thousands and 10,000s of the same item, whereas I'm just the opposite. I want to take and come up with a creative solution for you that's very unique, and do one and move to the next.
So you could build a better capo?
Could maybe. But see, that would lead to the production then, and I'd have to pass that off to somebody else.
Oh, I see. So you would be like the prototype
The
maker?
prototype,
Wow.
prototype. Yeah.
Wow, very good. And Claudiana, have you done stories about this? About Mike? Have you done a story
Yes,
about Mike?
actually, I have the cover right here.
Oh, look at that. How did I know? I didn't really know. I think I saw that in here, didn't I?
Mike
I
is
didn't realize I was looking at the cover.
Mike is an amazing entrepreneur and artist, and I'm so excited when we had met and we had talked about a cover story, and I think this February 2014 was the perfect time because of the statue and everything. So we were super excited to share the story with the rest of.
And were you surprised? Were you familiar with what Mike does?
I was, well, not
Before
when we
the article?
met.
Okay.
Yes, before the article, absolutely. Mike is one of the sponsors on Innovation Ocala.
Okay.
And so every time I go in and visit him about once a month, I go in through the shop and kind of see what.
It's actually funny to watch, because she walks in and she's not interested in saying hello to me. She wants to see what's new in the shop.
Oh, really?
Of course.
Like what? Like what do you see that you go gaga over?
Well, he's had a lot of different stuff. One of the latest projects that I had seen was the car that you were working on.
A car?
Then we had a lot of the Christmas fun little pieces that you did for the
We participated in the first Friday Art Walk downtown.
Okay,
And kind of themed some metal type objects for the seasons, if you will. But right now in the shop, there's a 1972 John Deere tractor that's being totally restored. It was virtually the last one off the assembly line in '72. There was a '58 Chevrolet pickup, is the one that Claudiana is referring to in the shop. I've got a '36 Ford pickup in the shop that's going to be my own personal shop truck, my daily. So
wow, I've never understood how bodywork was done either. That's another mystery to me.
you're welcome to come by anytime and see what's going on.
I was watching this thing with Jay Leno, and he was looking at a car and it had lots and lots and lots and lots of dents in it. And he said, "Oh, this was cool. This was actually hammered out, and they never smoothed it out." So I thought, really, that's how they used to do it? With a hammer?
And they still do some. Rolls Royce right now is still building cars by hand.
Literally hammer it out, and then they smooth out all those little dents somehow.
Yep.
That is absolutely amazing.
Laura, when people come into you at Career Source to find a job, do you also help people that have been clients of ARC and do have disabilities?
Well, sure. And if I may, it occurred to me that Mike and I have something maybe more in common. He talks about creating new prototypes and then restoring things, and you talked about hammering things out. And we like to think we're helping hammer out the economic downturn. We work with employers
That's
to...
the journalist in you coming up with that.
I just thought of it.
That clever.
We work with employers to create new positions when they need them, whether they're existing companies or moving into the area. We all know that talent is key to the success of any business.
Right.
So we, offer everything from soup to nuts to help them find, hire, train, and retain the top talent for their needs. And then on the job seeker side, absolutely, we will work with anybody, whether it's a matter of disabilities. Veterans have special needs because, they've had military careers and now they have to translate those talents to a civilian labor force. It's really tough, really tough. Youth, older youth, young adults, 19, 20, 21-year-olds, they have particular special needs, especially in a tough labor market. Older folks, and we see this is an issue as well. People who have 10, 15, 20 or more years in a particular profession, they may be at the top of their game, and for reasons not of their making, they are downsized, and now they haven't interviewed for a job in 25 years. They haven't dusted off their resume, and it's just so different. It's a new world of work. You don't just walk in with a resume one size fits all and say, "Look at me, I've got to hire me." No, it's a lot different.
And computer or in general technology skills must be an important part of the resume, right?
Everybody. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter who you are, what you do. You have got to be computer literate, and those are skills that are fairly easy to get, and we do offer a whole gamut of free workshops for computer basics, more advanced training, employability skills workshops, all of that. So if you need help with getting up to speed, we can help you there.
Well, here's an interesting insight from what we do. Rob and I have been in radio long enough. When it was totally analog to now when it's totally digital. And I can remember, just one time looking through the trade papers and seeing, jobs elsewhere in the country, and you had to know this software program and that software program. I said to Rob, we don't know any.
Yeah.
Because in Ocala, just to put it bluntly, we had radio that was, a few years behind the rest of the country. At least it was at the stations we were at. Okay. So we were still working all analog, and everybody else was selling their analog stuff to Guam or something and going digital, and we weren't there yet. So, and now everything is digital, and we are very computer savvy, but it was one step at a time. And, fortunately, we had bosses that said, just take it slowly and learn the stuff. So you can learn more than one way, right? It doesn't have to be in a school.
Oh, absolutely. And, and there's...
Do you have to prove it, though? If somebody's looking for a job, like let's say I came to you and said, look, I need another job. Joe said goodbye, I'm done, right?
Right.
So now I come to you and I say, I don't have a degree. that says I can use all this software, but I can.
It's just amazing that you use that terminology, prove it, because there is actually a assessment called Prove It, and
really?
there are 1,600 verified certifications that can be tested. Everything from CAD, computer-assisted drafting, to
Right.
customer service skills, to PowerPoint and Excel spreadsheet, you name it. You can be tested. And what we're finding is employers like that. They come to us. It used to be, they'd get down to their final candidates, they'd do the interviews, and they'd hire somebody, and then they would test them to see, well, can you do what you say you
Yeah.
can do? And then if they can't, you got to start from square one.
Right.
So now we're seeing more and more employers say, yeah, let's assess the candidates at the front end, and only send us those that actually can do what we need them to do. So there's Prove It. There's also something called Florida Ready to Work. Lockheed Martin uses that testing, which we provide for them. I think they only will interview, put you in a program if you're at the silver or gold certificate level. So that's a candidate assessment tool that is available to employers at no charge. It really helps them, screen the candidates to make sure that they get the ones that really fit the bill.
Yeah. My son is working using computers up in Gainesville. Don't ask me what he does. Some computer programming. But he excelled in high school. He excelled in college. He's got a bachelor's. Is that right? Bachelor's
Yes.
degree? Okay. So he had this job opportunity. And I remember him saying to me, you have to know a computer program that I don't know anything about. And I said, Alex, don't worry. You know how to do it. You can learn this one. Whatever it is, you did this well this far. And, long story short, he was able to do that. Mm. Claudiana, you do something similar to what we do. In order to provide our advertisers with listeners,
Right.
we have to have programming that people want to hear. You do the
Absolutely.
same thing with your stories. I mean, when you got together with Mike to create the story, and is there a connection with Laura too? Did you do a story on Laura?
Laura writes a column monthly.
Oh, Laura writes a column for you.
Yes.
Okay, so
and also it's one of the biggest advertisers on innovation. Which
Sponsors, we're sponsors.
sponsors, yes.
Which we really appreciate.
So that's kind of what I'm getting at. A story like what Mike has to offer is something we'll all be interested in. So we all want to pick up the magazine, and boom, you've done your job of getting your advertisers the exposure that they're looking for.
Right, absolutely. I'm out and about in the community, and typically what I work as far as cover stories go, we put startup companies that have something unique to offer to the community. And when I started the magazine, I was concerned a little bit, is it going to be enough startup companies to put on the cover? Amazingly, you run into so many companies that are
Right.
starting something that are, and that's why I was talking about how the economy is improving, because you see these small companies that back in 2013, they were struggling and they were not excited where their business is, and you go now to smaller companies, small or medium companies, and you see their budgets that they have into advertising dollars, and when they talk about their company, and they feel in a comfortable place. So I've been thinking it's either been a really positive energy where people are ready to move on to the next level, or the economy is improving, which that's what both.
And it all works together, doesn't it? We had yesterday in the studio some teacher. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? We had some teachers, all representing the different colleges in our community.
Wednesday.
I remember back in the 70s, we had one college. It was across the street, and it was a community college. And if you got a degree that you could actually get a job with, you couldn't stay here. There wasn't really that many job opportunities here. So, one feeds the other. I mean, in all the industries, the restaurants, obviously, people need to eat, or they want to eat in a restaurant, and they don't get any customers if there's nobody making money.
Well, it's this company up and coming. It's going to be my next cover. Probably going to announce it, and not a lot of surprise there, but the Green Umbrella, it's a new company. Lex Peak is the CEO and the founder of the company. He had so many other opportunities on other cities that he could have went and got a good job, good paying job. But he loves so much the community, and he's kind of seeing that coming back here and investing to his city is just so important, which is very exciting to see, and that's what we want to share with everybody.
And you're not telling us what he does. What does he do? Or is that something you're saving?
Yes, I'm saving that
The
for the
green umbrella.
Yes.
All right. Now, the most basic business is this wonderful little restaurant I introduced Robin to one time. It's called the Umbrella Room.
Yes.
And basically, it was a hot dog stand with an umbrella on it. So
I love it.
So it's not a hot dog stand, right?
No, it's
All
not.
right, not a hot dog stand.
One of the things that all three of you have in common is you have to be very, very visual in getting your some of your ideas across in conjunction with writing. Do all of you use freelance photographers to do the photographing, or do you have a pool of photographers that you choose from?
With innovation, particularly, I have Tammy Griffin, and she's absolutely amazing, and she's the exclusive photographer for innovation. With the other magazines, we have, one per magazine that do the photography, and they all do an amazing job.
Mike, I'm looking at your brochure here. Mike from Zeke Technique, Mike Zeke. You took a really nasty looking refrigerator and made it look nice.
Correct.
So that's part of what you do?
That's part of what I do.
You restore stuff.
Restore stuff.
Now, what happened to that refrigerator? Why does it look so nasty?
It was just years and years of use or abuse, and that
You're kidding. That's just dirt?
That is just dirt.
That's not from a fire?
Nope. That was found on the side of the road in somebody's trash pile, and basically picked it up, and it now sits in the middle of my showroom.
This is why Mom tells you to wash your hands before
Correct.
you get the cookies.
Yeah.
That was probably in somebody's garage shop and just greasy mechanic hands for years.
Oh, that could be, yeah, probably. There's also a pistol. Is that a what is that? Is that a mailbox?
It is a mailbox stand. I had a good customer of mine over at Downtown Pawn, Gary Bennett.
Oh, really?
He approached me and said, I need a mailbox stand. Don't care what it is. Just make it appropriate to my business. So that's all made out of aluminum.
Oh, and we can drive by and see that?
You can drive by and see that. Yes, sir.
How long has it been there?
Probably 4 years.
See, I don't get out much, so I don't see stuff.
But Gary's a good guy.
Gary-
he
Gary's
helps
a good
everybody.
guy,
Yeah.
yep.
So who's the pretty lady? Is that your wife?
That's my wife.
Okay.
Obviously very strong. I don't mess with her.
So who's the do you the business is yours, the two of you?
The two of us, yes, correct.
So is one of you more the book person, one of you more?
She is more the book person.
She's the book person.
Yeah, and she sometimes is a creative force behind us. A lot of times I'll get stumped, and we sit down and we work very well together for the creative side of the business.
So word of mouth works for you.
Word of mouth works.
It's easy because word of mouth. Now you have the globe. It looks like from the 1964 World's Fair, but that can't be what
That's
that is.
actually stainless steel. It's about 4 foot in diameter. That was a project that I had done about 10 years ago, and it moved to the current shop we're in and is mounted on the outside of the building.
That is awesome.
There's not anything represented in the brochure, but there's actually an aluminum arm that extends from the side of the building that is a model of my hand that is actually holding the globe on the building.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A model of your own hand.
Yep.
Wow. And so the commonality today, there's more than one commonality, as Robin pointed out. There's the visual, there's the creative, obviously, in all of what you do. And you have metal staples in the magazine, so there's the metal, right? Just trying to think of something there.
That's really nice that your magazine innovation targets startup companies, because without your magazine, we wouldn't know which company was coming into the area.
And that was the idea. Typically, startup companies don't have that budget to buy a cover, to advertise. So we want to make sure that we are helping them promote what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, right now we know there's a green umbrella, but we don't know what they do, so you did a
You'll
good
find
job of
out.
teasing us. I know we have a very few seconds here, but we do have a caller, and if you put your headphones on, you'll be able to hear the caller. So let me ask that it be very, very quick and very short. Thank you for calling. You're on the air.
Well, it's innovation and creation and jobs, etc., and businesses. Everybody forgets about one thing. The tax revenue to the county would increase just by the number of jobs and employees that have been able to benefit by all this creation.
Very good point.
And
Yeah.
that would, that's a good thing because the county wouldn't have to increase taxes, but yet their revenue would increase. And I'm just sorry that nobody seems to think of these things. And all I know is increased taxes without an increase in jobs or something. I don't know what's going on, but I think this is a good idea what you guys are doing. Have a good weekend.
And it's a very good point. Thank you for that. Yeah, I guess we would all agree, right? Obviously.
Yep.
Yeah, and if I just briefly, it goes beyond that. If you've lost your job, you can no longer contribute to the community in the same way. If you were giving to charity, if you were volunteering, if you were paying, the taxes on a home as well. So, the health and strength, economic health of the community really does depend on jobs and employment.
Absolutely, yeah. The time went way too fast. Mike Zeke, nice to meet you. Thank you for what you're doing.
Thanks for having us.
Looking forward to finding out more about what you do. Claudiana Palucci, good to see you again.
Thank you so much for having us, and thank you to Jim George with American Cables for the
Yeah,
slide.
let's not forget Jim. And Laura Burns, we'll see you at the
Student
Media Festival.
Yes, we will. April
Yep.
12th, we're judging.
You and we judge every year, don't we?
Every year, it's a tradition. I wouldn't miss it.
Always, since the very beginning.
And don't forget to go out to Tuscaloosa Park tomorrow between 1 to 4 to vote for your favorite statue.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding us of that. Yeah. All right, we'll take a little break and we will be right back.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Life jackets save lives. Wear it, Florida. Today, a cool start, otherwise mostly sunny and becoming quite nice during the afternoon, a high of 69 to 73. Tonight, a clear, moonlit sky, low 47 to 55. We'll keep it dry and nice for tomorrow and for your Sunday as well. Tomorrow, the high 74 to 79. A bit warmer Sunday, 78 to 82. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dan DePodwin.
Attention rose lovers, this is your time. It's roses like never before now at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens. Because of a special truckload purchase, Bob Wines can offer a huge selection of world-famous rose varieties at unheard-of prices like $15.99. I'm talking climbing Don Juans, hybrid tea roses, Floribunda,